News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Not one, but two high-speed chases. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Thursday, February 26, 2015. Right now, we have a cloudy sky, 27 degrees. We had a little bit of overnight snow, so we do have some snow-packed and icy conditions east on Interstate 90 out of Missoula, and also on Highway 2, Highway 200 from Potomac to about Clearwater Junction at this point. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Boot Barn, where they're celebrating everyday heroes who work hard for their families. Big savings on work apparel and boots. Come save $20 on select Justin original work boots. Missoula County Sheriff's deputies were involved in a high-speed chase yesterday through Bonner and up Highway 200 with speeds of over 100 miles per hour that ended just outside Potomac. Captain Bill Burt tells us how it got started.
The guy that we were chasing is a 35-year-old male. He's an absconder out of Florida, wanted for a series of thefts in that state as well as in Oklahoma. Those were non-extraditable warrants, but he's also a suspect in at least two felony theft cases, burglary cases out of Missoula County.
Acting on a tip, deputies confronted the suspect, identified as 36-year-old Robert Brown, who attempted to escape in a Dodge Durango.
He did get into a vehicle, got mobile, and ended up driving up Highway 200 towards Potomac, and he took a side road and ended up bailing out on foot and running up the side hill. Four of our deputies took off after him and caught him after about a quarter-mile chase.
Brown's in the Missoula County Jail on several out-of-state warrants as well as charges here in Missoula County. One female deputy was slightly injured during the chase. Brown will appear in Missoula Justice Court this afternoon. And another hit-and-run crash that led to a high-speed chase occurred just last night on South Avenue near Community Medical Center. At least that's where it started. Jeremiah Peterson with the Sheriff's Office has more.
There was a hit-and-run crash reported on the 3300 block of South Avenue, and Fire and Medical encountered the suspect vehicle near Community Hospital, and it continued on to Reserve Street and crashed off of Reserve near Harv Street.
Peterson said a deputy then attempted to initiate a traffic stop, but the driver in his full-size Chevy pickup fled the scene again.
It continued south on Reserve to Brooks, and then south on 93 until Highway 12. Ran off the road a couple times, and then on Highway 12 it crashed, and we made contact with a single male occupant that was taken into custody.
The 46-year-old Missoula man was taken to St. Patrick Hospital for a medical evaluation, then transported to the Missoula County Jail. Alcohol is suspected in the incident. Peterson said miraculously, no one was injured. A 28-year-old man who pleaded guilty to attacking two Missoula women last summer has been sentenced to 15 years in prison. The Missoulian reports District Judge Karen Townsend sentenced William Ashley Sandell II Tuesday to 30 years in prison with 15 suspended for felony aggravated assault, along with concurrent 6-month sentences for 2 misdemeanor counts of sexual assault. Prosecutors say the Idaho man had been in Montana for less than a week when he attacked a woman while she was jogging on July 5th. Several days later, he choked a woman and wrestled her to the ground. Sandell told prosecutors both attacks were sexually motivated. Sandell apologized, saying he was drunk and stupid at the time of the attacks. 4 children were removed by the Missoula County Sheriff's Office from a home in Missoula County on Monday because their parents were suspected by Child and Family Services of drug use. Under Sheriff Jason Johnson has more.
We were contacted by Child and Family Services and are working with them. They had called for some assistance to remove these children based on some investigative work they were doing with the family.
Johnson said the children had all been tested for exposure to illegal drugs.
Of the 4 children, there was an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 7-month-old, and an 11-year-old. All of them had been tested, and 3 of those 4 tested positive for narcotics.
No charges have yet been filed against the parents. Child and Family Services would not release any information as to the condition of the children or where they were being cared for during the investigation. No names have yet been released. Montana has moved one step closer to joining every other state in the country in making anti-bullying policy law under a bill endorsed by the House. House Bill 284, sponsored by Democratic Representative Kimberly Dudick of Missoula, passed on second reading by a vote of 74 to 26 yesterday. The bill would define bullying, ban it in public schools, and require public school districts to adopt their own policies addressing the issue. Governor Bullock was at the Pentagon over the weekend with governors from 9 other states and a gathering of many of the nation's top military leaders. Bullock explains why.
There are 10 governors, 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans, that get appointed to a group called the Council of Governors. And what our job really is to do is work with all of the branches of the military to ensure that the National Guard's interests are served, and to have discussions with the military brass, more or less just ensuring that our voices are heard at the table.
Bullock said that the governors were united in making sure cuts to the National Guard did not put states at risk.
Our National Guard men and women, not only are they there for the fires and floods, but they're active military and combat roles now. So really a lot of the state's efforts is to ensure that as they look at cuts potentially in force or budgets, that doesn't fall disproportionately on states.
Other topics discussed by the council included cybersecurity and border security. Getting back to the legislature, Montana senators gave initial approval to a proposed water use agreement on the Flathead Reservation yesterday. After 2 hours of discussion, senators voted 31-19 in favor of Senate Bill 262. 10 Republicans voted with the Senate's 21 Democrats in supporting the measure, which was presented by Republican Senator Chaz Vincent of Libby. Senate President Debbie Barrett of Dillon had harsh words, though, for the compact.
The Montana Water Rights Compact Commission did not bring the legislature a negotiated settlement. They have dropped on the 64th legislature the largest and most expensive turf war of all time. Please know what you're voting on and vote your conscience.
The bill is expected to receive a final vote in the Senate later on today. And the company trying to build a pipeline to carry Canadian oil south to the Gulf Coast says its efforts to force Nebraska landowners to agree to the project remain on hold because of several pending lawsuits. Earlier this month, a Holt County judge blocked TransCanada's eminent domain efforts there. Company spokesman Mark Cooper says TransCanada will agree to a similar order in York County at a hearing later today. Our Newstalk time now is 6:10.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Partly cloudy skies today with a few isolated showers. Temperatures will top out in the upper 30s and low 40s. Winds will be breezy with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. An isolated shower tonight with increasing clouds. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.